Hi everyone, it's Terry here showing another process video for Peartree Cutfiles. I'm using the Teepee 10 cut file, which is from an older release in 2020 but still available in the shop. I'm going to use it to document the virtual sleepover that we had with our Brownie Pack. So I've cut it out of white cardstock and you will see that I do back it with patterned paper. So I'm just starting off my layout as I often do with a frame of patterned paper with a piece of white cardstock layered over the top. So I'm going to add a big wide strip of this rainbow patterned paper for the main aspect of my layout. So I'm just ripping the edges of that. So I'm just working out roughly where I want to start positioning things. Now I've got this piece of patterned paper that I really like, but unfortunately it's just not long enough. So there's a little trick here, is that I'm just going to stick them underneath that patterned paper, but where the join's going to be is going to be under the teepee, so nobody will actually be able to tell that it's not one sheet of paper. I'm just curling over the edges to make them stand out a bit and add a bit of texture to the page, and then I'm going to stick it down. So I'm just going to back this teepee quite simply with a piece of pink patterned paper. So I'm using mostly pieces from the Cocoa Vanilla Daydream Collection. I think it was a collection from last year, but I'm doing it quite simply on this teepee because I want to add lots of embellishment in and around it. So I'm going to use vellum for the bottom sections of the teepee so that that little rainbow patterned paper pops through. I'm not going to cover that middle triangle section because my plan is to cut up the cut file and tuck my photo in as if I'm peeking out of the tent, because what we did is we did a virtual sleepover, so we were on Zoom for part of the evening and then the next morning, but we all created our own bed spaces, so I spent some time that day creating like a little fort in my living room. So that's what the photo is of me next to my little sleeping area. Although I didn't actually sleep in it. So I probably had a much better night's sleep than if we'd have been on an actual brownie sleepover. So I'm just getting that stuck down, and now it's a case of adding in some embellishment. I'd pulled out this yay from an old Create Paper Maggie Holmes collection that I knew I wanted to use, so that's got the similar colours to it. So I'm just tying some baker's twine in like a yellowy colour to match the background round the top of the teepee, and then I'm going to use a metal sun element to kind of dangle from that. So I'm just working out what embellishment I want to start adding to this page. So I know I want to use that yay, but not quite sure what else I'm going to use. So I'm just adding in that tiny label sticker underneath my photo. So I want to use this word sticker, but it's a bit too long for sticking on, so I'm just cut it down and I'm adding it on with some foam pads, just in 3 kind of layers. And it says live your best life, and that's what we were doing. We were making the most of a bad situation and trying to give the brownies something exciting to focus on and do. So I'm just adding in some florals in and around that teepee. So I'm just pulling out any bits of ephemera that I think might work. So I've got some heart shapes, I've got some florals, and I do pull in some butterflies. There's that little tag there that's got a rainbow on it, so then that coordinates with the background paper. I think the background rainbow paper is from a Pebbles Jen Hadfield collection, so it's nice to see that these things all coordinate together. And rainbows is definitely a motif that's in fashion at the moment. It's in every collection I've seen recently. So I'm just trying to make it look a little bit like there's a garden behind it, adding a few little flowers here and there. So just created kind of a little cluster to the right hand top corner of where my photo is. So now there's a tiny little blue flower and then a little green heart that's sat up on some foam pads. And then I'm going to do another little cluster where those other flowers are. I've added a blue heart there. So it's just, I'm just looking through things, deciding where I want to put them. And I decide that yay is probably not quite right for just the title. So I do pull out some more alphabet stickers shortly to add more to the page. So I'm just curling over that top section like I did with the bottom of the middle strip. I've pulled out, like I said, some alphabet stickers. So these are from my stash. So I think this one's a Dear Lizzie one, and then some Pink Fresh Studio ones in that. I love these tiny little alphas that they brought out. These ones don't stick too well, so I'm just adding a little bit of extra glue to them and then popping them in place with my tweezers. And although that I and E is now tucked under my photo, you can still read what the word says. So then I'm just using the tiny word stickers to spell out sleepover, and I'm trying to pull in colours that are used elsewhere on the page and kind of create a bit of a rainbow effect. So I'm going to use them to also add the word fun. I start by putting it over here, but it kind of gets lost, so I do move it to where those florals are. And you can just see it popping there next to the photo. I've got these Bramble Fox butterfly perspectives, so I'm just working out where I want to put them. I just think they create a real pop of orange to the layout. So I think what I am going to do is add some journaling to this page. But for now, I just wanted to leave it as it was. Thanks for joining me, and I'll pop all the links to the websites in the description below.